Morning. This is Shooter072 here. I've got a LEE Loadmaster here, and there's been a debate between the red versus blue versus green, and it's been going on since, well, probably since the dawn of the three presses. The biggest complaint you get out of these LEE Loadmasters is, well, they're not very smooth and they're hard to get running, and whatever all else. Anyways, so, then you go into the forums and everybody, oh, you should have bought a Dillon. Oh, you should have bought a RCBS or whatever. Well, some of us can't afford these machines, I being one of them. So I buy what I can afford, which happens to be the LEE Loadmaster. Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure these things out and get them running smooth, but having a little bit of a mechanical background doesn't hurt either. So, I'm going to make this video, and this is my first instructional video, and I'm probably not going to be very good at it, but I'm going to give it a shot. I have, in fact, figured out how to get this thing running like butter. Now, again, it's not super complicated. I have a new shell plate here. This is for my 38 Special. And, I haven't done anything to this one yet, so it's not going to be running the smoothest. I've got some lights installed on the press. I hadn't turned them on because, well, for the purposes of parts of this video, they're not very helpful. In this case, they probably will be. Now, I'm going to run this thing a couple of cycles, and you're going to see that it's probably not going to be the smoothest that it can be. So, you run it, and it kind of hangs up there, and there's a little bit of back pressure, whatever. And so, no, it's probably not the smoothest, and it will cause some issues, but the fix is pretty simple, so I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. Heck, I guess I can leave that plugged in. Anyway, so you take your shell plate out. Now, I've removed the priming system because for the purposes of this video it just gets in the way. So I'm going to pull my index lock, pull my shell plate. I'm going to raise the ram a little bit, and I'm going to pull my index rod, just because it makes it easier to get the replacement shell plate back in. Now this is I believe this is my 9mm shell plate. I'm going to place it on the press just like you would any other time. Make sure you install your index lock there. Oop, and don't lose your O-ring. That's kind of important. Make sure that your index lock is, there you go. And you don't want to torque that down because it's just not necessary. All that does is keep the shell plate down to where it can be indexed. Some people probably want to rank on that thing with a 1/2-inch drive torque wrench, and it's just not necessary. I'm going to reset my indexing rod. Now, as you can see, that one went quite a bit smoother, and just as a demonstration, no friction, no nothing. It just rolls right on around. Now, and this is where I'm going to get into the quote-unquote secret of doing that. So I'm going to pull this indexer back out and pull my shell plate back out, and I'm going to take still images and throw them in the video, I hope, because I got some editing software, and I'm going to see if I can't take some pictures to go along with this. But here's the thing. If you know anything about mechanics at all, you know that smooth surfaces slide on smooth surfaces better than rough surfaces ride on rough surfaces. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull your indexer, pull your shell plate, pull your priming system, pull the press down. All right, now I'm going to zoom in and probably kill those lights. Well, maybe not. Maybe it won't be too horrible. Anyway, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, I use crocus cloth. I've got, I can show you after. Anyway, these are your bearing surfaces right here. Right here, right here, right here, 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 so on and so forth all the way around the press here. Okay, now here's the thing. These are cast. They have casting bumps from the sand, because that's what they use to cast them, is sand. Alright, so they're not smooth. They're kind of rough. So you take your emery cloth or your crocus cloth and you just polish it. You don't have to remove any metal, just polish it. Just get it to a smooth surface. Once you've done that, now I've already done mine, so you know that's how it gets to running smooth to begin with. So you polish that up, you're done there. All right. After that, you want to take your indexing rod and you want to set it up to where there's just a very, very slight, and again, I'll take still images because this video camera is probably not going to focus on that. You just a very, very slight bevel. Most of them probably already have one anyways. Mine had a very, 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 very slight bevel. I just kind of increased it a little bit. Now, when you put that back in, you want to have that bevel facing away from your case case feeder. You want to have it towards the center of the press. All right. Now, the last step, which is pretty straightforward, and I'm going to zoom the camera right in on these, is your shell plates. All right. Your shell plates need to be polished in 2 places, and I'm going to try to zoom down in on. There we go. Well, the lighting in here kind of sucks, doesn't it? That's all right. You've got your shell plates. Now this is my new shell plate. This is my old, or my 9mm shell plate, which I already had. I bought this 38 special because I built up enough brass to warrant having it. That's irrelevant. Anyways, where you want to polish, and again, I'm just using some fine and super fine. I mean, anything around probably 600 grit or finer is fine for this. I think these are more like 800 and 1000. Doesn't matter. You just want to polish it. You'll see that there's a pentagon where the machining is for your indexer. Just polish the surface around that pentagon. You want to, and I'll show you here in just a second. I'm gonna set this 38 shell plate back on here, and we'll run it around by hand, and then I'm gonna set one that I've already polished up on there and run it around by hand, and you'll hear the difference. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's not rocket science, I guess. Anyway, so I'm gonna set this on there, and without even putting my index lock on or nut or anything, you can hear it almost sounds like it's grinding. I don't know, well, maybe you can't hear it, I don't know. I guess I could have zoomed back out for that so you can see that I was actually doing that. I'm probably going to have to edit the crap out of this video, but it's okay. I can do that. So, there we go. So yeah, so, when I run that around, you can hear that it sounds like sand. Now I'm going to take my 9mm shell plate, which has already been polished. I'm going to set it on there. And as you can see, it just runs right on around. I mean, well, there's a good demonstration actually right there. That sits there and spins. We'll put the 38 shell plate back on there, which has not been polished. And you can see it doesn't spin as long. That's because it's got rough surfaces. The other place where you want to polish this is on top, right here. Well, this is where your indexing locks rides. Let's see if I can't zoom that in just a little bit so you can see. There you go, right here. Where your indexing lock rides, you want to polish that just a little bit. Well, I kind of got mine to a mirror finish, and again, I'll try and get some still photos to do that. And then, like I said, now this I haven't touched. I haven't touched my indexer, and it's kind of rough, but I got it working, so I don't need to. Set that back on there. And again, you don't want to torque this thing down. I mean, all this is supposed to do is keep this indexing and ejector sitting there down on its in position. So just, snug it. That's it. That's all you got to do. Nothing more than that. It doesn't need to be super tight. Now, I didn't get it out yet. This is the lube I use. It's a lanolin based lube. Works like a champ, and I'll get more info on that later. I'm going to do everything later. This whole video is just a waste of time. Anyways, so what I like to do because I did not lube this one, just to ensure that it does run smooth, is I set like this, and just a tiny little drop is all you need. You just don't need a heck of a lot of it because it spreads out real good. It's kind of like a motorcycle chain lube, but you know, being lanolin based, I figured it'd be good for reloading. Tighten your nut back down. Ah, come on, really? Like I said, I'm not very good at this doing videos thing. Just a real light snug. Give it a couple spins by hand to spread that lube out. Make sure it's in place. And you can use a couple drops on your indexing rod as well. Should probably zoom that back out now. Use a couple drops on your indexing rod. And just set it in there. And then bam. Just like butter. No problem at all. I mean, I can push that one finger. No more forcing it to get it to go. That's really all there is to it, guys. I mean, once you've done that, this thing's just gonna sit there and crank out ammo. So, I guess that'll conclude the video. When did I shoot it? 2-minute, 45-second video? Oh shit, no, that's almost 12 minutes. Alright, I'm gonna have to edit that. Anyways, so there you go. That's really all you got to do once you've figured that part out. Oh, the only other thing I can think of off the top of my head is every now and then, you're not going to come down or bring the ram up fast enough, and it's not going to kick your indexing cam out far enough, and it'll stop like that. All right. If it does that, just lay back, take your finger, kick it out, goes right over. No problem. So, but as long as you've got your speed to where you're, bringing that ram up, it'll kick it out there every time. Sit there and run it through. So, and there's tons of videos on getting your indexing timing and everything like that, but I really wanted this video to show that this thing can be made to run smooth. So, that's it. Thanks for your time.